What about the teams? I mean, that's top of the table though. I mean, screw those guys, right?
They're fine.
Yeah. What about so we got Bournemouth, Watford, and Norwich City getting dropped off, which seriously, I am absolutely surprised by Norwich City dropping off because the way they started the season with like Pookie scoring, I
Oh,
was like, man, these guys are gonna be in there. And then Watford too. Watford is playing pretty good soccer. I mean, the season before and the season, and they just like dropped off. And same with Bournemouth. It's just like these three teams, they didn't start out horrible. And it's like, what happened, to
I
I'm the most saddened by Bournemouth dropping because I think Eddie Howe is a good manager. I think he has the Bournemouth squad does have good players. I think they've been ridden with injuries. I think Stanislas has been probably one of their best players that's been ridden with injuries throughout the season. They haven't been able to recover from it. And I think that's what really injuries is what killed them. Lack of
mm,
depth. But I am so sad to see them
once again.
relegated. And I think they were better than Aston Villa. I mean, I know that, you know, data shows otherwise, but I do think they were more exciting to watch. I mean, for crying out loud, they put four past Leicester, right?
Yeah.
That's pretty impressive. Even Leicester's form, even while Leicester's form has dropped and they're fifth, they still put four past Leicester. So yeah, I don't
Oh
yeah.
know.
no, I agree with you. Like I would rather watch Bournemouth play in the Premier League than Aston Villa. I mean,
Yeah,
they're just a way more exciting team. And then just even with their stadium was kind of small, but it's like even though you're not being there, just like watching on TV, there's like a different atmosphere than watching Aston Villa games. Like if I were to want to go to one of the games live, I'd be more drawn to the Bournemouth game because I already know just from watching on TV the atmosphere of the Bournemouth game would be more just intimate, just watching that game rather than Aston Villa. Like
well, Tom, I want to hear your thoughts, but then I want to ask you: do you guys think Eddie Howe is going to stay, or is he going to go elsewhere?
Yeah,
ooh,
Eddie Howe is Bournemouth through and through. He played for them, and now he's like the youngest manager in the Premier League, I think. Yeah, he might not be now, but he was like at the beginning of the
was
season. I think he will because I think Bournemouth are a good enough side that they'll. I think they'll get promoted again next year. They're good enough to, if they can keep their players fit, and he's going to them into some squad depth. I think they'll sign a couple of players. I think they'll bring a couple of lads up from their youth system. Because Bournemouth have a good youth system as well, but I don't think the players there are quite ready yet to make that jump. The player that he really needs to keep is Nathan Ake. But as you said, I know Chelsea are after him, and I know Man City are after him.
yeah.
Um, that's easier said than done. But if Ake stays, they've got a really good team, man. Every time Bournemouth play Spurs, I think, here we go. Because Eddie Howe plays the kind of football I like to watch. They attack,
Hmm.
they defend pretty well, although numbers would say they don't. But as you said, they're injury ridden, so they don't have that core group of players each week. Someone's always different because they're injury prone. It seems they just have the worst luck, and I am sad to see Bournemouth go. I think Villa stayed up not just because of luck, but I think Jack Grealish is a game changer. Without Grealish, Villa are not a Premier League side. And Trezeguet, the Egyptian, he's a really good player as well. But Grealish, especially as that leader, and I think that's something that Bournemouth don't have. They don't have that one player that can lead them through thick and thin and give them the hope to carry on. But they have players there. They're just young, you know. I'm sad to see Bournemouth go, but they'll be back. They'll be back next year, I bet.
Has any team gone down and bounced right back up the next season?
I'm sure there's a ton. I don't know off the top of my head, but I'm sure there is.
Yeah, I thought West Ham did a few years ago. I could be wrong about that, but I thought when West Ham got relegated, they moved
Well,
back.
yeah, I'm sure somebody's done it, but I think is it likely they bounce back? I don't think it's likely because
I don't think it's likely either.
not a lot of teams do it. It's just once you go down to championship, you might be there for a while. Like no matter how well you played in the Premier League or how
Well, it's
badly you
because you
played.
lose all your players. Like your players are good enough to play in Premier League, and you're gonna lose most of your play. Like Stanislas is gone. Nathan Ake is probably gonna be gone.
Oh yeah, he's definitely gone.
Yeah, Joshua King. why he might not be a starting striker for Tottenham or anyone else. He's a strong guy that can finish. So I don't know. I think they're going to get gutted, and that's what worries me. I think if that team gets gutted, I don't see Eddie Howe staying. I see him going, and plenty of managers that are currently managing Premier League are just not up to it. I mean, David Moyes is one name that comes to my mind. I cannot believe he's still managing top of the freaking Premier League team. Like, I really cannot.
I mean, yeah, I think.
What's the Aston Villa game? How boring was that?
Well, today West Ham went Aston Villa. Yeah, that was a boring game.
That was pretty bad.
Yeah, I don't know.
I think.
I feel for Bournemouth.
Well, I think Norwich are going to have the same issue. I think
Norwich will drop again.
I wouldn't, because I think they're going to lose their main guys. I think Cantwell's gone. Max Aarons is probably going to move to Tottenham. I think Ben Godfrey, surprisingly, is being eyed up by Bayern Munich, of all people.
Whoa.
So their main guys, they're gone. They're not going to stick around. When you've got like European playing teams, and the Championship is a tough league. Like brutally, physically tough. They have more games. I think they play 42 games in a season, but it's tough. And
the beating that they get. If I was a Premier League player and they were like, "Oh, you want to play in Championship?" I wouldn't.
That's why a lot of the players have their release clause that if they get relegated, they get to be released.
Yeah. Well, I mean, just when you watch FA Cup, how many times does these smaller teams just kind of come with this physical presence, dominance over the big clubs, and just push them around and bully them? I mean, I don't think I would want to. If I was any of those players, I'd jump shit.
I think they will. I think, why wouldn't you? Because you've got to think about yourself. I feel bad for Watford as well, because they put up a good fight against Arsenal today, but Arsenal just had too much for them. And Aubameyang especially, just getting his 2 goals, one of them being an overhead kick.
Oh, yeah, I saw that.
And I also want to talk, you guys know how much I love Kevin De Bruyne, but I don't know if you guys saw his 2 goals today.
So good.
World class.
The first one especially.
Oh, just a little footwork to get a yard, and then you can't give Kevin De Bruyne a yard in that position. He's going to score every time, and he did. Yeah, I just think he's sensational. Got the assist record with Thierry Henry now, so they're on par. And, he scored.
Surpassed him too, really.
They smoked Norwich today. Norwich just gave up. Even though they got a goal disallowed, which was offside, Man City never give up.
I think Man City made these last few games like a statement to just say, hey, you know what? Yeah, we're not winning the Premier League, but just remember that next season we are going to be back. Because I think they've scored like 20 goals in the last 4 or 5 games.
So they've scored 27 more goals than Liverpool.
Ooh. And a lot of them came in these last 4 games because they were just beating people 5-0, 4-0. A lot of them came these last few games after the restart.
Yeah, it's because their defense let them down again. Like, they lost Benjamin Mendy for a while. They lost Aymeric Laporte for a long time.
Mendy's a fraud.
He's better than Zinchenko.
Mendy's a fraud, man.
I know you don't like Mendy.
He's a fraud. He's been injured. Did he even play in the World Cup at all? He played 5 minutes or something? And he won the World Cup.
He played 1 game.
And then last season he was injured and won the Premier League. Are you kidding me? He's a fraud, dude.
Yeah.
He's still better than Zinchenko, though.
Man.
I think, Pep will know that, and Pep is going to come. They're going to come back next year, and I mean, they made a point because the first game of the season they beat Liverpool 4-5-0.
Yeah.
That's their way of saying we're not going anywhere, boys.
Well, I still think Man City, in my opinion, is favored to win Champions League. I know Real Madrid their form is looking better, especially with the strings of wins they had in La Liga. But I really think Man City is a team to beat in Premier League.
You think this is their year?
Huh?
You think this is their year? That they finally perform?
It's weird. Anything can happen. Obviously, in Champions League, you could get eliminated. But I do think that they are in my favorites to win Champions League this year.
All right. Well,
they'll go through. They'll beat Real Madrid, I think.
Well, we'll definitely talk about Champions League, as that's coming up, have a more in depth, kind of predictions and all
Sure.
that, because we could probably just like go off on that.